welcome to this podcast episode I'm trying to start with the first episode about my kind of beginning in all Star Wars galaxies. I started when I was 9 and then played a little bit of the emulators. I played on Basilisk, now Finalizer, and then kind of dropped off from that because it was really wanting to yeah, relive my old childhood, even though it wasn't that. It was kind of weird saying that because I wasn't that old at that point. So it was kind of a weird situation for me because even though I felt a bit old, it was kind of like weird for a young kid to want to go back to a really old game like that. But yeah, I was actually chilling a lot on Basilisk. Got bored with it. Went over to Bloodfin. Played on Bloodfin. Kind of didn't feel that too much. Loved their NGE version. Then that shut down, and then I was really sad because to me, I didn't know anything about Stella Bellum when that happened, and I didn't know anything about Legends or Reborn, as it was called at that point. So I didn't think there was anything else, and then I found Legends and played on Legends for a little year. And yeah, that was probably the best experience in my life and the worst at the same time, because the best experience reason is I made a guild where I was trying to really help people out and try finding friendship, which I also did. We at our peak we were 200 people inside the guild. Of course, a lot of people who weren't that active, but we were 200 people and doing a lot of heroics and whatnot. So it was really nice. It was quite a time period. I loved it. And then all the drama shit happened with me and Vosk, which is luckily now cleared up. But me and Vosk had a thing going on. We were really trying to battle each other. Him and his guild got some stuff with Aura, and then he made something else that was I think it was Lot, LOT, and that was really a pivotal point in my life because that was when I really got into PvP, or also Guild Wars. So it was kind of fun in a way, kind of pressing a lot of weird buttons I shouldn't press at Vosk, and I kind of feel bad for it now because I was kind of a dick, not gonna lie, using the system a lot. So what I did, and he probably remembers it, was fuck around with this system where you could automatically let's say it happened, he already pressed that he wanted to be in a war, and then I kind of exploited that. It was kind of stupid. I kind of regretted sometimes being that much of a dick. But then all the TSC stuff happened with Alice Turkon. Him streaming that he was harassing my fellow guild members was really the point of the iceberg where I kind of fell off from Legends. That they allowed people to harass other people's guilds within being in a big guild, where Rush, the current at that time server admin, it was kind of stupidly mind-boggling. And that's where I kind of figured, okay, yeah, when Raj is in their guild, they have a good like stronghold on like everything, and then they're never gonna be like, yeah, thrown out in any way. So yeah, they weren't until they kind of did something stupid later. But I'll keep that for another thing, and in a little bit. But yeah, I after doing the reports, I reported it to Loki, the now head admin that doesn't like me apparently. Yeah, Loki kind of went too corporate on it. That's where Legends is good. Like being too corporate and too playing too powerful in a way. And they didn't really want to see into it and didn't want to really explain their methods, which makes no sense because first of all, you're not a entity of any like say in the game other than you have a live server that you don't own anything of, other than the stuff you paid for that you actually made. So it's kind of weird when it comes to like projects. Not gonna lie, a lot of people think they own everything. They don't. We legally don't own anything when it comes down to it. We only own the stuff we make ourselves. That hasn't anything to do with the Star Wars Galaxy logic. So, yeah, that's a whole other story for a whole other episode, I guess. But yeah, it then spewed out to me, kind of yeah, totally losing it for Legends. I told my guild that I was gonna leave Legends, and yeah, made SWG plus or SWG plus with a plus sign. But yeah, it spewed out to having a server. The first official member I had was Chisholm. He was always there for me. Well, he was always a nice like mental help and mental guide. Same with the other people that will come into later future here in a second. But yeah, Chisholm was a really good figure of a nice like embodied staff member. So I figured that he would be perfect for staff and asked if he wanted to, and he did. Of course, when it comes down to like SWG projects, it's all about time. We don't always have time for it, and then that's where I've been very large. Like, it's a passion project, so. And then we got our first fan base, I guess, and everything just spun out pretty quick, and got my developer from Legends that sadly had a little dispute with because of some database stuff that I was overthinking too much and kind of bitching about with the resources where I should just have listened to Ewok instead and just have figured everything out with him instead of bitching about it and getting mad at him and expelling him and then yeah. It was a terrible time. There was a lot of like new stuff I needed to learn. I didn't know jack shit at that point. Yeah, it's kind of hard like trying to make a project. That's also where my stance are like on people who try and make a project. Know what you're doing. Have the people that know also what they're doing before you do it. You're gonna like if you're gonna start a server without knowing the code base or how to actually manage a server, you're in for a really bad ride, because people are gonna have the expectation that you know what you're doing. And I somewhat knew what I was doing because I've been in management for like all my adult life. I've managed a store with 40 people, so it's 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 been a weird ride for me because I needed to know the code base because I didn't have eWork, and all of a sudden I got like some other help when some other people came in, and they really didn't do too much, and all of a sudden I had to like be like a bit more severe and hard headed with what I take in, because a lot of people who claim they know stuff don't really know that well. But yeah, it's spun out in a weird, many weird uh, areas of executions of staff members, and a lot of staff members who was always there for me. Rickus got in at a later point, and Nick Well was there also, and it was uh, it was just a nice thing. And all the sudden Beyond has like a database breach or a breach on like their hardware, and all of a sudden we get a resurgence of like old Beyond people, and I was actually probably the biggest time of our like existence was when that happened, because we got so much like interest when that happened. And I think it was also a point where uh, I think South Korean had a lot of influence on Beyond. Not too sure. That was what I heard. But yeah, it was a weird time. It was a weird time period. That's why when I reminisce a lot about like missing it, I don't really miss it too much. The past of like SWG Plus, but I do kind of still miss it a bit. There was a lot of like nice, good memories, and yeah, we had a good run on SWG Plus. Not gonna lie. Also, then come the sad point of a good point. Like we merged with Dark, aka Talisa, aka Resurgence, aka Utopia, whatever he calls it, and steals our actual server dev name, which was kind of funny in hindsight. But our old server dev name, Elysium, was our server name, or server's like name, the cluster. Um, it's kind of funny. We merged with him because Rab was a really nice person and really convinced me that it was a good idea. And in the start it was, and all of a sudden, as Star Wars Galaxy goes, a lot of drama happens and toxicity, and we just have to had to part. And I was at vacation this time. Actually, I was 400 kilometers away from my home, so I didn't have a way to actually secure anything. So they would have all the access to all our servers, and I was really scared. So I had Rickus to stand on guard with shutting everything down, just in case. And we did shut the server down until I got home. It was really annoying for me because I just wanted a vacation, and all of a sudden, after Dark Talisa came back from his quote unquote sickness or sick days and sick leave or whatever, even though I know what he was doing, he was trying to get his project up and running, because you could kind of watch that on his Wikipedia and his dev manifestos, what's it called, his GitHub updates. But yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't care about him having his project at the sidelines while being a developer and supposed to be merged with us. Like he is more free to do whatever he wants than anything else. Like I can't like hold people, but when you merge with a project, you stay with the project and then express that you want to like move on, and then we kind of discuss it and leave on good terms, instead of what he did with causing a lot of drama and calling out me for a lack of management and whatnot, which makes no sense because first of all, I actually had my degree there at that point, I think, and was just a lot of weird drama. And yeah, and then all all that said, all the drama, we did do some nice stuff. We did try out all his like projects and whatnot. It was really what I wanted. So what he wanted to do was like more tokenize it all, like Beyond did, and also were world bosses and whatnot. I'm not really a huge fan of that. Like I'd rather make a new dungeon and then make a boss, not something that's called a world boss and like it's all about that one entity. So I'm not a huge fan of that. But then came sadly the end due to the, yeah, I guess lack of donations and all of a sudden Russian Ukrainian war and a bill of 750 US dollars or $700. I don't remember the exact amount, but I know in fact it was 4,000 Danish crowns, about like $600-700. It was a lot of money for power. It was only for a month. We didn't pay quarterly. Um, we had we had servers running, of course, 24/7. Makes a lot of sense when you think about it, but the power prices spiked up to over $2 per kilowatt, so that was also the reason why. Um, and to those who don't know, our power is heavily governed by the government, so we pay a lot of taxes on that shit, and yeah, just a whole nice bunch of taxes. But yeah, we sadly had to shut SWG Plus down, but that wasn't the end. The end was when we had the Try Resurrection by Javo, and him wanting to take over too much of the project and having too much influence just because he wanted to back us made me realize that it wasn't a good idea, like taking like fully backed by people 100% that well, and also don't make people have that much influence as he had, because I was trying to listen to him, but when he tried to get people from my staff outed due to not liking them and their views, I kind of, that's kind of like my tipping point, and that's where I said nope, we can't do that. And then he wanted to leave, and caused a lot of drama there too. And I thought it was in the best interest to shut SWG fully down, or SWG Plus fully down, and it was. And yeah, this is kind of the end of everything, and I've been yapping on for about 20 minutes, and I guess I'm gonna do a little bit of an outro and maybe like a little bit of what's gonna come next. Next is gonna be like the entry point of SWG Havilland and why. And yeah, thank you for listening or watching this podcast style thing about like past, present, future of SWG Plus. And yeah, thank you, and remember to follow on Twitch and on YouTube. And have a really good day, and see you in the next episode.